My name is Nate Moellering, and I'm a community outreach coordinator with Fort Wayne Recovery and Allendale Treatment. For me, it started out with injuries in sports. So at 15 years old, when I was handed a script of Percocet, I remember when I first took him and I felt like, oh, this is how I should feel. This is the piece that was missing for me, you know? Like I didn't have any more social anxiety. I didn't have any more worry about the future. So I graduate high school and I get to college, and I was able to somewhat kind of distance myself from it a little bit because I was excited to be playing college football at this point. But then my freshman year, I hurt my back, blew out a disc. I couldn't catch a break, you know? I fell back into active using, and I developed this physical dependence. So I went to detox, and then I went to a program down in Indianapolis. None of it worked for me. So I was in and out of AA and NA and all kinds of programs for, I want to say 4 or 5 years. I mean, really hardcore, you know. What led to it is fentanyl hit the streets really hard, right? Towards the end of my usage. I got sober in 2017. And fentanyl was ripping its way across the country at that point, and it still is. And I overdosed, I want to say 5 or 6 times. And then the last time that I used, you know, I was living in my car basically, and I had been living with my ex-girlfriend at the time. And I overdosed. They had to smash down the door, revive me, all this stuff. They took me to the hospital. I AMA'd from the hospital, left against medical advice, went back to the same dealer, got the same drugs, went back to her house, overdosed in her house again, this time in the bedroom bathroom. They had to smash down another door to get to me within 24 hours. And I was sitting there, and they told me, Nate, you're not going to make it a third time. You made it twice today. Third time, you may not make it. And I said, that's fine. I said, you know what? Save you a trip. Don't come. And at this point, I was 24 years old, and I was convinced that my life was over, you know? And I remember, you know, there's Detective Gerardo, who is the one who had the last conversation with me before I went to treatment. Because he was like, I've put enough people in jail. I've zipped up enough body bags. I've done enough death notifications. Just tell me your story, and I want to find out if there's a way that I can help you. And I tell him everything, right? Like all about myself, all about what happened. And he just sits there and he's like, Nate, he's like, listen, he's like, do you want to get better? And I'm like, I don't know if I can. You know, my life's pretty much over. And he's like, you're 24 years old, Nate. Your life is not over. It doesn't have to be over. He's like, do you want to get help? And I said, yeah, I guess I'll try. So I think the key for the final time that I went to treatment to get help was the pain had become greater than the reward. And I was so miserable using drugs and alcohol that I knew if I didn't change something, I was going to die. I was lucky enough to have a family that loved me and believed in me, even though I stabbed them in the back 100 times, stole from them, lied to them. I work with people who didn't have that, and they're still sober and they still have hope because they found a new family in recovery and in people who were like them who made it out. And there are people out there who care, and they don't even know you, but they care about you, and they will care about you if you walk into that room. If you reach out, there'll be a hand that'll grab your hand. I promise. You know, you just got to take that leap of faith and, you know, do everything they tell you to do. So if I was talking to somebody who is struggling with an injury now, and they were thinking about using prescription medication to deal with the pain, whether from a doctor or from a friend, I would say that they should probably reconsider. So I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving anyone medical advice, but I would be cautious and make sure that I fully understand what I'm taking, and I would make sure that my family's involved in the decision making, and hopefully that they are well versed and are willing to learn and educate themselves in order to help me find the best method of treatment that's available for me.